Hey, what's up? Welcome back to Off-Road Precision. Yes, it's an off-road channel. Bikes, quads, jeeps, other stuff. But also, something I'm really into is Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Sabe people, Kunstaka. There's like something like 100 different names for Sasquatch, Bigfoot. Basically all native Indian tribes have different names for them, call them different things. Put them right there with well-known animals, not mythical beings. If you guys aren't new to the channel, or you know me, you know this is on the side of my Jeep, so everybody can see. And man, does that get a lot of attention. Almost every time I'm at a gas station, somebody either snickers and then asks, talks about it. Eventually, most of the time, people get pretty curious and seem to be pretty, I don't know, not one-sided, or they're pretty open to the idea of it. There's just been too much stuff. For example, this is some stuff I have. Check this out. Bigfoot, wild men, and giants. Archived articles 1680 to 1923 by David Politis. David Politis is a retired police officer, detective, investigator. I really appreciate the work he does with Sasquatch. There's a couple of his books he's written. Hoopa Project, Tribal Bigfoot. He was actually invited and went and hung out with, don't quote me, I think the Hoopa Reservation, I think Northern California, hung out with Native American Indians up there, and they gave him a whole class and course study on Sasquatch and Bigfoot in the area. And to them, again, not mythical being, it's for real. A lot of happenings and dealings with Sasquatch in that area with those American Indians. But so that book that I was showing you, so if you see, these are straight up newspaper articles, just scanned, copied. And the reason it stops in 1923 is something to do with copyright. Otherwise, they would have kept going for a little bit, I'm sure. Back in the day, you know, there wasn't a whole bunch of, you know, fictional stories about, you know, fantasy and, you know, weird creatures and stuff. You know, if it was in the newspaper, it was because something happened in that small town, you know. 1680 to 1923, you know, it was up 100 years ago now. But I know my great-grandparents across the street here behind my mom's house, where my one little shop is, houses my quads and bikes, right there was a horse stable. They didn't even have a car. They literally drove horse and buggy around, and that was literally less than 100 years ago. Crazy. But anyways, back to this book by David Politis. This is a cool book. So scanned, copied newspaper articles. It is wild. There's something like 35 different 35 different articles in this book that are just in Pennsylvania. So being that we're in Western Pennsylvania, we'll just kind of stick to that. So first one that we just kind of flipped to, the Jeffersonian, PA. Discovery of a wild man. Short time since one of the surveyors engaged on the Panama Waterworks discovered something in the shape of a man sitting on the bank of a stream a few miles from Panama. He was entirely naked and had very long hair. The party addressed him both in Spanish and English, but he appeared to understand neither, and refusing any intercourse with them, escaped into the woods, where they were unable to pursue him. Yeah, things were written a little different back then, guys. Yeah, refusing intercourse does not mean the same thing as it does today. There's there's some good ones in here. I wasn't crazy. Well, since we're on close to PA Ohio line, here's one. Warren Reserve Chronicle in Ohio, December 17th, 1856. Skeleton of a giant found. Yeah, that's another wild one. I'm not gonna read you all these articles. This isn't story time. I'm not Mr. Rogers, as you can tell. Which, no shade against Mr. Rogers. Dude was badass. Let's find one more in PA, and then we're gonna get on with it. Pittsburgh Dispatch, PA, September 19th, 1889. A gorilla at large. Strange creature frightening the natives of southern Indiana. Eckerty, Indiana, September 18th. A naked, hairy creature, which from descriptions given by reliable persons who have seen him, must be a young gorilla, was seen recently by various persons in the woods and cornfields 6 miles south of here. Miss Kate Knight and Oscar Grant, besides others, are the names given as eyewitnesses, and each person named saw him on different occasions. Robinson's show is on the river between New Albany and Evansville, and it is supposed a gorilla escaped from them. Supposed. Nothing ever confirmed. Philadelphia, naked hairy creature, 1889. Naked hairy creature, which from descriptions given by reliable persons who have seen him must be a young gorilla, was recently by various persons in the woods near Eckerty, Wisconsin. It is supposed that the beast escaped from a traveling circus. Of course, that's the most logical answer, right? See a hairy, upright, walking person in the woods, covered in hair. Oh, it's a gorilla. A monkey. Alright. Last one. Mountain Union Times, Pennsylvania, April 9th, 1891. Petrified remains of a giant found. Vital Jarcott, who carries mail between Fort McGinnis and Rocky Point in Montana, brings news of the discovery of the petrified remains of a giant in the Badlands of Chautauqua County, a few miles below the mouth of Muscle Shell River. Discovery was made by Lala Donna, who started off to find a purchaser for his curiosity before Jarcott could get a complete description. Remains were not complete, petrification having only taken place in a portion of the body, while the remainder had followed the course of nature and returned to dust. One leg was 8 feet long, the thigh being about 4 feet. A rib was found, which was measured 2.5 feet. Petrification is no unusual thing in Badlands of Montana and the Dakotas. Petrified wood in that state has had frequently been found. The petrified body of an Indian was found in North Dakota about a year ago. So, yeah, I don't know, I got this page marked. We'll do this one and that's it. Tyrone Daily Herald, PA, August 27th, 1891. Is it a wild man or beast? Martins Ferry, Ohio, August 27th. The farmers near Negee, this county, have organized to hunt down the wild man or animal that has been killing and devouring sheep, hogs, chickens, etc. in that section. Many of the farmers are afraid to work in their fields, go out after their stock, or go to sleep at night, fearing that they will be killed. The wild man, or whatever it is, has been seen by Samuel Crow and others. Crow says that it's covered with dark reddish hair, has large ears, small eyes, teeth like those of a wild boar, large mouth and paws, measuring about 5 feet in height, and weighs fully, I think it's 260 or 200 pounds. It is said that an animal walks and runs as well on two as four legs, can climb a tree or hill quickly, and is seen only in the morning and the evenings. Farmers and their families in the vicinity are very much frightened. So you see, back in the day, before our news sources were kind of controlled and, what am I going to say, edited, there was somebody looking over what was going out to the masses. Before that started, this is the stuff that was in newspapers. And, yeah. So, there's a drawn picture of one that somebody discovered. Yeah, you just see a bunch of them. Wild man of Ohio, wild man, terrorized the people of Knox County. It's wild. You guys, you can look this stuff up. This stuff is out there. These are scanned, copied right out of newspaper articles. Obviously, you have to go to local library and stuff to find this stuff, but so as interesting as the Sasquatch and Bigfoot stuff is, so is giant skeletons. If Bigfoots and Sasquatches are so damn big, their skeletons would be big too. So, are these giant skeletons Sasquatch, Bigfoot skeletons? I don't know. Just very interesting. So, here's some other stuff I got. Sasquatch field guide from Dr. Jeff Meldrum on basically how to, if you're out in the woods and see some stuff. It's even got measuring tape up here. Different stuff. Morphology of, apes, gorillas, mans. Look at that thing down there in the bottom where it's a gorilla, a man, and a supposed Sasquatch standing up. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. So, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, he's a, what is he? Professor of Anatomy and Anthropology at Idaho State Department of Biological Sciences. So, he basically runs under the idea that if Sasquatches are out there, Bigfoots, he thinks there are what's called Gigantopithecus, which was a giant ape, gorilla type being from way back in the day. It's not even really confirmed that they even existed. Yeah, it's wild. So, but he's part of, mainstream academia, so he can't get too crazy with his claims. People will start thinking he's crazy and maybe not have a job. But back to Dave Politis. This is another thing from him. It's called the track record. So this was a bunch of information that was gathered by a guy before Mr. Crow, Ray Crow, Hillsboro, Oregon. That's right. So, as that guy was getting to the end of his life, getting sick, and he knew he was on his way out, he sold all of his research to Dave Paulides. Dave Paulides then put it on a thumb drive. So, basically, what's on there is a bunch of newsletters and 3,000 pages. Too much bulky to print, distribute. Track records, index 80 pages, represent the single greatest research tool Bigfoot Sasquatch ever produced. So, right there you can see that's a list of what's on there. So, a bunch of info. Basically, all the history and info pretty much up to date up to 2019 on Bigfoot and Sasquatch topic. So, cool piece. I just got this. I got this a couple months ago, and be honest, I haven't even loaded it in to actually open this shit up and look at it. Yeah, just because I feel like I'm pretty up to date on all the history. I listened to a guy called Steve Isdale. He has a YouTube channel called How to Hunt. Basically, he reads people email into him their stories, their happenings, their encounters with Sasquatch, Bigfoot, and some of them are crazy and then pretty wild, and then but most of them, I'd say 90% of them, are so damn similar that, you know, I don't know, there's got to be something to it. And it's wild. That dude's in British Columbia, Canada, and I've heard him read out stories, emails from people writing to him from Newcastle, Pennsylvania, 20 minutes up the road from me, Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania, bunch of places within that I've driven through, towns. So pretty wild. Guy up in British Columbia, Canada, reading off stories on a little YouTube channel, and it's not little anymore. He's got a pretty big following, and he's a pretty down to the earth dude. He was a hunting guide, and he had some experiences. So did his dad and grandpap, and some of his friends kind of told him that he needed to get the truth out there and put it out there. So, but yeah, that's I'm rambling along. I can go on quite a bit about this stuff, but as seen in the title, possible Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Tennessee, and Western Pennsylvania. So, first one, Tennessee. The fiance and I and the dog, Dakota, Silver Lab, we went to the Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion in Tennessee, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. Check that out. Bigfoot, Great Smoky Mountains. Little sticker. Yep. I'm good at wasting money. Also got this little coaster thing. Not all who wander are lost. That's cool. Sometimes I catch myself wandering through the woods. So we went to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee for Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion. Excuse me. Awesome time. We had rented a little Airbnb cabin about 25 minutes out of town of Pigeon Forge. Literally secluded back in some windy mountain roads in the bottom of a valley, and there were some other rental cabins up the hill way across from us. There was one, it's important, up the hill behind us, maybe 300-400 feet from our cabin. So we got there on a Thursday night. So right before dark, I think we just got back from dinner. I'd let out a couple whoops and Bigfoot whoops calls, whatever, and just being goofy and also being serious. So on that night, I was hanging out on the porch having a smoke, and like I said, we were in the bottom of a valley, and the hill across from us, there was a road through the valley, and the hill across from us, real steep. You wouldn't want to walk down it. Sounded like just like one coyote coming down the hill slowly and just constantly making like a chip noise. Like a coyote sound when they're just like kind of playing or doing whatever. Just not real aggressive, not real loud, and it was like the same sound each time. And it whatever it was, come down and then stopped. So, bird, coyote, I don't know. No big deal. So then, Friday night, we get back from dinner. Again, I'm out on the porch listening to all the insects and just the quiet night. Friday night, and I didn't write down the time in my notes here, but I hear like, basically it was like a whistle sound, like not like a sexy whistle like you do it, pretty ladies. It was just like almost like a singing a tune whistle, and it was I don't know, my opinion, it was kind of feminine. So if that was a Bigfoot, that was a female Bigfoot, in my opinion. Okay. It lasted for 5 to 10 seconds, somewhere in there. Pretty long. Longer than I've ever heard an animal make one noise. It was up and down in tone. It was just odd. So that cabin up the hill behind us, pretty sure they had dogs up there. After that female Bigfoot whistle, the dogs at that cabin go nuts. And you could tell they were dogs barking. And like, I don't know, after 10-15 minutes of them barking and just carrying on, there sounded like 2, maybe 3 dogs up there. And sound like decent sized dogs, Labrador or Shepherd or something. I think the owners must have brought them into their cabin, because I could hear somebody say something, and then the dogs kind of quieted down, and then there was nothing. So that was Friday night. Saturday night, again, that was our last night there. I'm kind of a night owl on the weekends if I don't have anything to be up for. I'm out on the porch getting ready, for bed. And it's first thing about 2:30, quarter after 2:30. I hear very clear it was either a tree breaking and falling down or a big branch breaking. Clear as day. Up on that hill where that other cabin was, behind us up the hill, but maybe away a little bit. So that's all it was. That was it. No dogs went crazy after that, nothing. But then, about a half hour after that, I'm hanging out on the porch on my tablet, 'cause my phone's about dead, and going up, checking out Marketplace, looking, see what kind of stuff I can waste my money on. And I get startled by a loud, bassy, raspy howl. No dog or coyote. Never heard this sound before. And it was so loud and startling that I was like stunned and shocked. And I'm sitting there and just like, what is this? And it went on, it had to be a total of 10 seconds. And it was loud, it was raspy, bassy as it started out, and then it toned down. So in the video, that is up to 2 seconds is all I got recorded of it. And I think after the first second of me recording, you can hear a bunch of coyotes, and I think the dogs up on the hill go nuts. And yeah, I don't know, it was a wild sound. Never heard anything like that before. And the coyotes and the dogs go nuts for quite a while, and then they chill out for a second, and then they went crazy again. So I'm gonna play the video, my recording of it. Like I said, I didn't get all of it because I was on my tablet, phone was about dead. Then I was startled as shit. Sorry about the language. I was startled, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta try to record this. And there was that much time happened of it making the sound, and I still caught the tail end of it. So I'm gonna play the video, and then I'll loop back over and over like 5 or 6 times, just the first second of my recording, when you can hear just the sound I'm talking about. So hopefully somebody like Thinker Thunker YouTube guy can analyze the sound. And I like the research that guy's done recently with Sierra Sounds and some other stuff. And science technology can help prove stuff. And yeah, I like the analysis that guy's done recently. So sorry for rambling. Hopefully you're here because you're interested. Hopefully you're not upset that this ain't off-road Jeep stuff, but there will be some stuff. Maybe I'll plug in a couple dumb pieces. This video should have been out 2 months ago, but you see the Jeep in the background. It's getting worked on slowly or surely. But yeah, so check this out, and let me know what you think in the comments and stuff. And I'm gonna do more a little here as we go. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Hope my phone doesn't die for this. So last night, at about 1 o'clock in the morning, there was a loud, sounded like a lion's roar up about the same area. And then the dogs started going crazy. And then tonight, there was a little more before I started recording this. But something had them dogs spooked. And about 5 minutes before all this started, I heard either a loud tree branch break, or a tree branch knocked on another tree. Something. It was definitely a tree branch. Definitely broken, knocked, something. Hills of Tennessee. Pretty cool. It's about 2:30 a.m. Just having a smoke before hitting bed. And pretty cool. All right, so that's those are the sounds. That's what I heard. That's what I recorded. Hopefully, like I said, Thinker Thunker or somebody that's able to analyze, you know, the sound frequency and whatever they do, is able to check that out and analyze it and let me know. Any questions and stuff, obviously you can comment, but my email is in the description. If anybody wants to get a hold of me about it or talk more about it, privately or on different channel. But yeah, so this video has already gotten long enough. It's late, I'm tired, so I'm gonna call this part 1. Part 2 will be a little shorter. It's gonna be about the picture I took in Western PA, Wampum, PA, in a strange, well, I won't even get too far into it. It's a picture I took, not sure what it was. Whatever it was, wasn't, it's not there anymore, or now. Yeah, it's wild. So that'll be part 2. It's a little shorter, so like I said, the video is already long enough, but thanks for checking it out. Obviously do the YouTube thing, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you checking me out, and yeah, stay tuned for part 2. I'm gonna put it up real quick, in a day or so. Put a little edit together for it, but yeah, and then we'll get back to the normal off-road stuff until, you know, more Bigfoot, Sasquatch stuff comes up. Then I'll cover it because it's interesting, and yeah, I want to. So appreciate you guys checking it out, and hopefully you found it interesting and insightful. Maybe hopefully you learned something, and maybe open your mind a little bit if you were a little skeptical before. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 2, and keep coming back. Thanks, guys.